Uh, I would just want to ask you, how are Israelis viewing this joint U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran that killed Supreme Leader Khamenei and several top Iranian officials? Is there a broad public support for the government section, or is there an anxiety that what could happen next?
100% there's broad public support. I've never seen Israelis come together so closely on this messaging before, that we want to help free our brothers and sisters in Iran and usher in a new age of peace and tranquility in the Middle East, and obviously cooperation between the nation of Iran and Israel. People don't know, but for many years before the Islamic regime and the Islamic Revolution, we were allies. We worked together with Iran. My grandmother from Iraq was actually saved by Iran, by the Shah, when Iraqi Jews were kicked out of Iraq for being Jewish. The Persians, the Iranians, the Shah helped us and saved us. So we never forgot that. And obviously, there's anxiety. It's a war. You know, we have ballistic missiles firing at us. I've already been to the bomb shelter 3 times this morning since I woke up. It's scary, but I've never seen Israelis so confident and so together on the messaging that we want to help free our brothers and sisters in Iran and usher in this new age of peace.
I also want to understand. You already mentioned that there is bombing and you are going into shelters. I also want to understand that as Iran continues to strike targets across the region and in Israel also, can you give us a sense of situation on the ground in the Israel right now? You are out in open, so and but you were telling me that you were in shelter. So can you give us what is the situation right now there?
So actually, in preparation for this interview, I brought myself to the bomb shelter. I'm standing over a bomb shelter right now. What's right underneath me is a bomb shelter. The entrance is right here. I don't want to show it for safety reasons, but
Yeah.
I prepared just in case there were alerts that might happen during this interview. I may have to leave. Both drones and ballistic missiles have been fired from Iran, and now Hezbollah, one of the Islamic regime's proxies in Lebanon. They've been firing ballistic missiles. And when you said targets, that's actually kind of a misnomer for this war. The US and Israel have been targeting specific targets of the Islamic regime of Iran. I work at this and I collect data and make content about this every day. From everything that I'm seeing so far, the Islamic regime has not targeted not one military apparatus of the United States or Israel. Everything they've been targeting is towards civilians. Everything. Civilians in Israel, civilians in the UAE, civilians in Bahrain, in Qatar, in Kuwait, all across the region, they are exclusively targeting civilians. Even here, the bombs that we're seeing exploding, the interceptions, it's happening over civilian homes. People have been killed, have been civilians. People have been injured, have been civilians. So they're doing a war against innocent people.
So, are you preparing for the further escalation? Are you preparing yourself that the situation could get worse in coming days?
Of course, we're open to it in Israel, but again, we are going to survive. We're going to be victorious over the Islamic regime of Iran. For me, it's not important personally, and I know for many of my Israeli compatriots and my Persian compatriots, we are not intricated or scared about the small intricacies of losing this war. We know we are going to be victorious. We know we are going to win. You cannot win a war that is fought exclusively against civilians, and with the Islamic regime has its back against the wall. Escalation does not scare us. We are all saying together in the Middle East right now, if this is what the Islamic regime wants, bring it on. We are not afraid.
You also mentioned that Iran is targeting civilian infrastructure and homes. Uh, there was also an attack in Iran, in southern Iran, where at least 153 people, including children, were killed after a strike hit the school. Uh, can you give us a detail? What is the sense in Israel when it comes to such instances and such incidents?
So I believe the incidents you're talking about was actually a rocket that the Islamic regime fired and fell back onto a school. And of course, what they did was blame the US and blame Israel. What's more important for me to talk about is that yesterday, last night, as they were firing barrages of missiles indiscriminately against civilians in Jerusalem, they blew up a hospital, a Palestinian hospital in East Jerusalem. This has gotten no mainstream coverage, no media coverage at all. The Islamic regime of Iran, in liberation of Palestinians, destroyed an exclusively Palestinian hospital last night, potentially killing and causing hazard for Palestinians. So this regime, we cannot trust anything of what it says. It is lying through its teeth, and right now it has its back against this wall.
You mentioned about the historical links between people of Israel and Iran. I want to understand from you how Israelis are seeing when it comes to regime change, because Israel and United States have indicated that they want the Islamic regime gone. However, many experts are arguing that change cannot happen without a significant uprising from within Iran. Do you
Correct.
believe such an uprising is a realistic in the near future? And are you touching with any Iranian person who is saying that yes, there is uprising coming?
Absolutely. For the last 2 months, me and so many Israelis and freedom-loving content creators like myself have been advocating and pushing. We've been making, I mean, I don't know how to speak Farsi, and I actually learned how to speak Farsi just for the specific videos I made. Just like Bibi Netanyahu, Donald Trump, and Reza Pahlavi, the Crown Prince of Iran, have advocated messages towards the people in Iran. This is a collective effort that all of us are making to communicate with these people who have had no internet, who have had no electricity, who've had the basic rights taken away from them, to communicate with them a messaging of they need to revolt. This cannot happen without them. I am proud as an Israeli to sit in a bomb shelter for the next month. I am proud to sacrifice for my life as much as I can to help this happen. But it cannot happen, just like the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi had said 2 days ago when this kicked off. He said, "It is now time for you, the Iranian people, to rise up." The way that Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu have said on TV to the Iranian people, it is now time for you to rise up. You need to take to the streets. And we are seeing already widespread protests in Iran happening already today. The second Khomeini was killed, people were out in the streets celebrating with music, dancing without hijabs on their hair. So it's a collective effort. And this is going to go down in the hall books of history of the fact that three countries, Israel, the United States of America, and of course, Iran, came together to overthrow this cancer from the region.
I want to ask you about Israeli resilience also. Israel has been effectively been in state of war since October 2023, with its forces engaged on multiple fronts. We are hearing about it, we are seeing reportage. How resilient are the Israeli people at this stage? Is there a fatigue setting in, or is there still strong national unity? And ultimately, what does the end look like for Israel in this prolonged conflict?
For our entire 3,000-year-old history, all we've known is violence and war. We've had very little time of peace in our history. So we actually work together very well under pressure. We care for one another. And I have to say, the last 48 hours that we've been in this war, the one thing that I've been so grateful of is the fact that we get alerts on our phones 10 minutes before these ballistic missiles are even on the way to prepare us. Hey, head towards a bomb shelter. So we have more than enough time. And then sirens go off, giving us another full minute to run underground. And then we get warnings to come back outside and warnings before, like our government, our infrastructure, and our people, because it's not just the government. People forget that the Israeli army, the IDF, is made up of civilians. It is made up of the citizens of the country. They're sitting there on the home front command. They are the heroes of this. They are the ones launching the Iron Domes, launching the missiles, launching the lasers to protect us. The resilience is a team effort. That's amazing, is that we help each other out. And now we're doing this for our Iranian brothers and sisters as well. The resilience is spreading across the region. And you can see some of the Arab states, even Saudi, the UAE, Bahrain, wanting in on this resilience, wanting in on this team effort with America. So I actually think that our resilience is sending a message of light and peace across the region. And it's going to be a team effort to show everybody we refuse to live under the insurgency of Islamism. We don't want it anymore. We want peace in this region. We want to work together as a team, and we want to usher in a new age for this region.
And thank you for doing this with us and speaking with us and giving us your time. And please stay safe. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.